I think it's fair to say it's probably not the video I wanted to make, but it's the one you're going to get, so here goes. I think it's something that's right at the edge of my ability. I think it's something that's out there and it scares me a little bit. I think it's what's great about the sport, whether you're just trying to get round before the cut-offs, whether you're trying to go sub 12, sub 10, sub 9, sub 7, whatever your goal is, it gives you just that opportunity to really push the boundaries of what's possible.
So obviously that didn't quite turn out how we'd hoped.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair to say that was not the outcome that we were looking for. I think I don't want to sit here making a video just a ton of excuses. I'm quite happy to kind of sit here and say I know I needed a great day to go under 9 hours, and unfortunately I didn't get a great day. I don't think, did I? I'm not too big-headed or egotistical to sort of sit here and say I can't go away and come back stronger, and I think ultimately I wasn't quick enough, so I need to go away and work at it, come back stronger, and assuming that we can get the bit of rehab we're going to need to do on the injury I'm coming out of this one with done in the time frame that we think we can. We've got a plan to do another one before the end of the year onwards, so yeah, I suppose if you enjoyed watching the training vlogs, it's good news because we've been renewed for series 2.
Let's just start at the beginning. How did the day start?
Well, I think we woke up, didn't we? And I think the first thing you said to me was, you asked like, how was I feeling? And my response was just like, I feel sick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I woke up feeling a bit nauseous and just a bit kind of like not really myself.
But I just thought that was nerves, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, so did I. And I was actually quite hard on myself for the first couple of hours of the race because I kind of just felt like the nerves had got the better of me. Yeah.
Turned out it was a little bit more than that.
Turned out it was worse than that. So, but yeah, I didn't give it too much thought. Just thought I was a bit nervous. Just carried on, got the morning preparation stuff you need to do before the race done. And got down to the start and was kind of hoping that once I got going, that would kind of, those nerves would subside and get into the race.
Yeah, and you got off to a good start. You're in a good position.
Yeah. I think start the swim, I put myself in a good position on the start line. It was a mass start, so wanted to make sure I was in the front row of swimmers and I could get off well. I think first 400 meters I was in the front pack. I felt like I was swimming hard and stuff, but just couldn't stay on the pace. So
you then kind of just did a solo effort round. Like,
yeah, it just
like to me.
Yeah, it just ended up. I think the vast majority of the swim just ended up me swimming on my own, kind of just behind that front pack of swimmers and in front of kind of everyone else, really. So
I think on another day, hopefully, you would have a few more minutes, wouldn't you, out of it?
I mean, like I've had them before, so I definitely can swim quicker than that. I think it's just a mixture of I don't think it was the fastest swim, and I obviously wasn't feeling very well.
But then the main problem came as you were getting out.
Yeah, as I was getting out of the water, I kind of slipped and kind of twisted or jarred my knee. At the time, I didn't really think it was that big an issue, and I couldn't feel it at all on the bike while I was going. So I was kind of hoping I kind of got away with that, really, to be honest with you.
Then the bike started off well. You were making a bit of ground in the first 40k.
Yeah, I set off okay on the bike, and the power wasn't quite what I was hoping to hold, but I was moving fast. I was going just under 40 kilometers an hour or 25 miles an hour, even though my power was, I think it was about 255 for the first 40k, so about a little bit lower than what I wanted to hold, but was moving well, so didn't really think too much about it. After about 40k though, I kind of just had a sort of slow deterioration, I suppose. The power just kind of kept slowly coming down, and the effort felt like it was going up. And yeah, I just started getting some other symptoms of being sick. So like, I felt really cold, I felt nauseous. I clearly wasn't feeling well, because after about 100k, I felt very, very ill and had to pull over to the side of the road, and like I was physically sick, vomiting at the side of the road. So yeah, that's not something that's ever happened to me in a race before, or I've had to kind of deal with. Like I said earlier, I think I was being quite hard on myself, because I kind of just thought that I was letting the nerves get the better of me, and that I maybe wasn't as positive with myself as I should have been. So I think that's probably one of the things that I was not happy with about the performance.
And then you kind of picked up, you felt a bit better.
Yeah, I felt, after being sick, I actually weirdly felt a bit better. The power went back up to what I was riding at the start, and the speed went back up over I managed to hold that power and keep an average speed over 40 kilometers an hour or 25 miles an hour for the next sort of 30 to 40k. So I was really moving again after that. I think the problem I had was that
you hadn't taken any food.
Yeah, I couldn't take on any more food or drink really at that point. So I was kind of just slowly getting more and more tired and hungry, I suppose. So again, I think the power just kind of slowly deteriorated for the last sort of 50 odd k, something like that. And the speed with it as well. So, I think getting off the bike, I was probably about half an hour down from where I wanted to be. In terms of hitting the sub-9 goal. But the plan was to just get off and run and see what we could get out on the run, see how much time we could claw back, and at least get a marker of where we were at if we couldn't hit that. So set off on the run, but immediately, as soon as I put any weight through my knee, I was feeling quite a lot of pain. I'm quite used to running with pain in my knee because of that pre-existing condition that I've got, that we kind of hit on in week 2 of the vlog. So I was able to move quite quickly with that, and I saw you relatively early on in the run, and you kind of told me that I was running well and to keep going, and that I was on track to kind of get close. So kind of just made a decision to just run as hard as I could for as long as I could. And I think I was actually clawing back a bit. You
were clawing back some time towards your 9-hour goal. Not
enough. I don't think, to have got there looking at it. I was actually really happy. I was running really, really well. Which I think beforehand, at the start of the whole training block, I think the run was the one element that I was a bit unsure about. So I think that is one positive that came out of the day, I suppose, at least anyway. That I ran well, and the run training had clearly got me prepared to run well on the day. Unfortunately, I think like about 10 miles or so into the run, my knee started locking up and just feeling really unstable whenever I hit any of the sort of like grass or trail surfaces they had out on the course. So it was kind of like giving way underneath me and then locking up. Every time that happened, the pain kind of increased, and it was getting harder and harder to keep up the pace. Yeah, unfortunately, despite the fact that I felt like I'd kind of overcome some adversity earlier in the day with the sickness, and I was actually managing to still move relatively quick despite the fact I wasn't feeling 100%. The knee was kind of the nail in the coffin of it at the end, I think, and something that I didn't really feel like it was sensible to continue on with.
Yeah, I think the highlight to your day was a few hours after you finished, you got to look after your wife, as she also came down with food poisoning.
Yeah, I think after the trip home, you succumbed, didn't you, to the food poisoning, and then sleepless night, throwing up and feeling sick together, didn't we? So that's a nice way to end the weekend. Should we talk positives? Because I think there were some.
Yeah, no, definitely.
let's end the video on a high.
Let's stop the miserable stuff and end on a cheery note.
Yeah, I think there were definitely some positives. We bumped into one of our old athletes that we used to coach, which was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting to see her, was I? So
no, and she did really great.
We had a nice conversation before the race and caught up, and she had a really great race. So it was really great to see her out there. And we actually met a few people who've been watching the channel, watching the videos, really enjoyed them, and been commenting on stuff, and so that was really cool.
I think that really cheered you up when...
Yeah, I mean, well...
you were feeling pretty low.
We even had one of the volunteers at the aid stations where I was really struggling had been watching the channel and gave me a bit of a pickup and got me going again, and that was really nice. It was a really nice experience, and I think meeting people who'd been watching along and following and supporting the channel was not something I expected, but it was a really, really nice surprise.
And I think we learned some things to make you faster for next time, you know.
Yeah, I think there was positives that came out of the performance as well. I think like when I was able to cycle even somewhere close to the power that I know I'm capable of doing every week in training, the speed that was coming out was around where I wanted it to be. So I think that's a massive positive. It was probably the best I've ever run.
You looked so much better,
especially in a marathon.
You'd worked so hard on changing your run technique, and it was so much better.
Yeah,
I think if you hadn't had that slip, it would have been.
Yeah, and the pace was really good. So I think that what we did there really worked, and yeah. So I think we're coming out of it with some ideas of things we can work on to come back stronger next time.
First and foremost, don't eat chicken and rice that's been in the car too long.
Not if your wife's cooked it. So I'm sorry it didn't end the way that we'd hoped it would end, with a big success story, but at least it means we'll get to do it all again at some point, hopefully later this year. So if you've watched this far and you've watched the vlogs leading up to it, thank you. It really does mean a lot to us. Every comment, like, subscribe, all really, really helps us out. So thank you for all the support. We're going to be shifting the vlogs on towards Ellie's race at the ETU Championships.
See what we can do there. I have two working knees at the moment.
She's got two working knees, so hopefully we'll do a lot better there than we've managed here. And yeah, if you enjoyed the Sub-9 vlog, like I said, you'll be getting another one, so tune in for that later in the year.